Hello, and in this episode of MegaRail Challenges, Cuzco must grow. Other than by me zooming it in and out. We need to make it larger. Oh, 90-degree turns. Oh, excellent. This was a thing that the original AI in the original game used to allow, which were these incredible sort of train, just handbrake turns. The driver's driving the cab is sort of leant down between say the seats, but it's a footplate, so they're standing, so he's really properly leant down onto the floor, grabbed the handbrake and gone, get around that tight turn, and then someone pointed out, when OpenTTD was made, that trains don't have handbrakes, and do go squealing around tight corners with the rear wheels locked, and it kind of doesn't happen, and that's maybe this just wheels would not work on this junction, you can then disable them working, but anyway, that is enough about the physics of the trains and the junctions. We want to make Cuzco grow, and to make Cuzco grow, it really needs the base requirements, because it's a desert town, so it's going to require water, which we deliver. Hooray, and it's going to require food, which we don't deliver. Not so hooray. So we have a food processing plant over here, and that's underway, which is used by various AIs and by us, and what's not, but maybe we should see if we can set up another food processing operation. So up here, the food processing plant up here, that's used, that's claimed. There's one over here, actually. It's going to be some long-distance transporting, because if I display the chain, display the from food processing plants, and link this to the small map. So I need to bring things from here. Ooh, this is already serviced. This is already stolen. This is already stolen. This might not be quite so smart, because all of these cargoes have been stolen. And yes, this... So what are they doing here? So, and that accepts nothing. And that accepts nothing. What is going on here? No trains here. No nothing going on here. I don't know what that brown company is doing. It's an Invenville transport. It has 2 trains. I'm getting distracted. That's Magdalena. So this one is safe, and this one is safe. So we need to do some real sort of cross-map mega railing, or rather, OK railing, because this is OK rail. So and get going with a little bit of a sort of. So this is going to be our stations. This is going to be one of very, very simple railroad design, something which I didn't actually cover in my station science, my original station science video. We should probably have a look at that at some point. What's the throughput of one of these simple railroads? But and then again, we also saw that even the single-ended station had a throughput of sort of 630 or so. So we don't really need to worry, and we got plenty of money. Money is pouring in nicely. That's one of the joys of MegaRail. It really was just playing on kind of easy back in the day, because you would just no, we need to go around Lima. This is going to be slightly challenging, although it's the desert. There's no trees. There's no trees for them to get annoyed by. This like, this would be the there would really be no tension in a raccoon's set in the desert. Come on, Tim. This is your whole thing. This is why you rant about this cartoon every opportunity you're given, because there's not enough tension and drama in it. There's a little bit of drama, but yes, if you had some sort of tree destroying villain in this desert, they would be kind of down the level of, I'm going to destroy this cactus. There we go. A huge multinational logging operation is going to destroy this cactus. That's definitely not environmentally sound message cartoons territory. I think you can correct me in the comments if there was indeed a cartoon about saving a single cactus, but I don't think there was. No, that's more sort of Thunderbird's level of efficiency. It's like someone's someone has pricked themselves on the cactus, but it turned out to be radioactive, and now they've wandered into a hole, and they are going to go critical and destroy a jeep or something. And this will necessitate the Thunderbird craft being sent out at a cost of millions, potentially billions. And then, Thunderbirds being proportionate action, the series. Ooh, trees. Some birds are they going to get annoyed? Very poor. And we're already in trouble. We may as well just blast through the rainforest. There we go. Sorry to the. I could hear. I could make some excellent Ferncurly references, which would be at least 10 years. But no, I'd say 10 years, probably about 7 years more up to date than the raccoons. But I never got to watch it. There's still a gap in my children's television cartoon sort of film, children's animated films that with environmental messages. So I never watched it. Possibly because I always go on about how I hated them because they were so dull, but I never got to watch it. I'm sure there's some sort of bat creature, possibly voiced by Robin Williams. Does that ring a bell to anyone? Or am I just making up an entirely different notional 80s film? I'm sure this was part of the sort of argument between him and Disney that he sort of went and worked on something like Ferncurly, and they got all annoyed, and it turned out to be a prior commitment or something like that. Okay, so this is going to be the output. This is going to be the station input. They're going to row rate, because I think row rates are a bit more efficient when you have path-based signals. And so I don't think it's really needed, but this volume. As I say, I did a station science video, which we should disprove all of this, but I'm now ignoring it because I'm just running on instinct. There we go. That would go there. So that needs. Oh no, I'm not going to path signal. Right. Path signaling would destroy the spirit of this game. This is going to be my arbitrary challenge for this game. Is to not use the path signals. There we go. So this neat little double track. Has the roaming AI stolen my fruit? No, my fruit has not been stolen. My fruit is left unmolested. So let's put a depot in there. Let's build a Kelling 3100. And some fruit trucks. Then going to build 88 tons of fruit. Oh, this is not very fruitful. There we go. That can go there. They go all the way up there to the food processing plant. Yes, there's the factory. I'm just worried that they may have overlooked a closer food processing plant, but no. Oops, I created too many groups. This is going to be this is going to be the food specifically for. Let's go. There we go. Never explain, never apologize. And there we go. That's the fruit, actually. This is not the food, this is the fruit. No! Too many characters. Ooh. I wonder, will this allow me to have an umlaut? Will I remember the characters to summon an umlauted O? Yes! I win. Screw you, English language. I'm in charge now. And so that's that excitement over. Can we clone that train again? Yes, we can. We have the dosh to do it. That should get some fruit going. Let's fast forward. Love the reversing that. There's got to be some setting that I've missed here. So we got some fruit going on its way there. And now, oh, that passenger service that I have does like to build a subsidy up. That's useful. That is useful. Arr, arr, arr. Anyway, yes, I was lost somewhere around Fern Gully and not having got to watch it. I'm sure there was a conversational thread that was going to head on from that, but and then went, oh, someone built an aircraft. That's a bit novel. Let's build a few of these. Yes, I was going to say there was one thing which I'm not sure if I've ever covered in my main series, but there's 100 episodes of that. Nobody can remember anything that went on in that, least of all me. That the one which had a little bit of an ecological message, not a huge one, not an overt one, and I think still had a lot of action going on, which was based on an earlier book, an 80s book, which was the 90s. I think the European Broadcasting Union might have got involved. I think the BBC got involved, and they made an Animals of Farthing Wood cartoon, which is basically, the standard sort of animal cartoon of the early 90s conservational message, which is, don't go destroying forests. A message I would say I can entirely get behind, but, you've seen me destroy trees just at will because they happen to be in the way, so apparently my words not the same as my actions. But, there's a general message, forests are good to keep them, and, that animal conservation part's good, and sort of wishing animals beneath your wheels in your car was bad. And this is where we get into the problem with the Animals of Farthing Wood, in that it hadn't had a kind of death count about the same as Game of Thrones, possibly slightly more violent and possibly slightly more pointless, entirely avoidable deaths. But good gruesome cartoon. The way it's worth watching. Not going to scar you for life and leave you kind of the horribly unable to form meaningful interpersonal relationships or anything. No. So Santa Rosa Forest, there we go. That's all good. Let's do some distant joining. I can at least save myself that. No, let's not. Let's keep this to the spirit of the original. And I get to keep saying this, and I get to keep. Then, anyway, so yes, that was fantastic bit of the cartoon maker's art. Pop an entry signal on that. Pop an exit signal on that. So we need to go produce food, and we need to get this down to Cuzco, which we can actually use the line that I just built. So annoy Santa Rosa a little bit more. Whoever cared about Santa Rosa, other than the inhabitants of it and me, because I want to destroy their road. Like me, approve of me. I want to destroy your roads. No, we can wiggle. That's fine. We can wiggle around there. The other thing which I missed as a child, and I probably should have picked up more on it, which is this Animals of Farthing Wood has lots of characters, and it has a fox who is called Fox. Probably quite confusing if the fox is called Toad, or Toad turned out to be a mushroom. But I can't imagine anyone doing anything that confusing. And the fox had this wonderful kind of proper gangster East South London accent, mate. So it just watching an adult. I just couldn't really watch as an adult, because while the death count of that I'd be fine with, because I remember it from a child, and it's a warmingly nostalgic death count. And they just couldn't get over the fact that Fox sounded like he was basically about to shank someone, or at least get in a supercharged Range Rover and be very angry at something. That's probably more modern day South London, really. Anyway, what happened to Cuzco? we're building a food line there. Yes, that's what happened to Cuzco, and it's here. So, the Cuzco Food Express. Let's make that a station around here, and just build this around the top. So, and then going to row it, I think that's probably not totally necessary, but maybe we can drop other things off to Cuzco. Maybe we can't. We won't. Yes, they can just go over here. I need to pop over here. So that's kind of annoying, actually, because that doesn't... Well, actually, no, that needs to bridge over that anyway, so may as well just... Oh, you built the railway in a really annoying place. It's just an annoying railway. That's busy stuff. Some railways are just designed to be annoying. That is their purpose. It's a railway that's annoying. So this sounds like me talking about the larger of our two dogs. I maintain that we've ended up with a dog who just has an annoying personality. He just likes being annoying. So early before I was recording this, I was doing a little bit of the inevitable repainting the house, because one of the lovely things that happens when you have dogs is your walls get slowly destroyed by dog slobber. And you kind of, every once in a while, you think, maybe it would be nice to pretend we lived in the kind of house which wasn't coated in sort of dog ejections and bits, and sort of was nice. We'll do some repainting, and I just freshly painted a wall. Annoying dog comes along and immediately just rubs his face against it. And he's never rubbed his face against that wall, ever, in his life. It is just a thing that's not happened. He's got walls that he likes rubbing his face against. And, they're fairly inconsequential walls, so we tend not to worry too much about it. But no, he's like, oh, you freshly painted that. You know what would go excellent on fresh paint is just random chaotic dog nose marks. So I sort of push the paint around, and ideally, if I can paint myself as well and cause a minor crisis with that, then all the better. And so yes, I have an annoying dog. The other dog is lovely. The other dog is very sweet and likes to please us, and very sort of, very obedient, and will do anything you ask of her, unless she's busy eating grass, in which case she's like, screw you, I'm eating grass. Ooh, let's take that, because we can just deprive everyone else of it. Is it worth having? No. So I want to build these up nice and large. So I'm going to build this up to sliver. Right, so yes. Although obedient dog, other than when she's eating grass, which obviously, this then kind of owners pale into insignificance. So this one is the food specifically for Cuzco. Is very neurotic, so probably was made to watch the Animals of Farthing Wood as a puppy or something, and then just fears that humans will start sort of just wheeling you out and make you cross a motorway, and if you don't cross it in time, they'll just squish you with some 90s car. And this just sort of, yes, it's probably just obeying us because, not out of an inherent sense of goodness, but just out of, I do not want to end my days under the wheel of a Ford Escort, especially a 90s Ford Escort, which was the most rubbish of the Ford Escorts. And then I had one years ago. Well, not an Escort, actually. I had the booted Escort, the Orion, when they were still calling it Orion. And it was solely the only reason I had a Ford Orion was other than sort of a brief moment in my youth, whereas those really cool and sloony, and they've got an enormous boot. Probably about the time I was being scarred for life by the Animals of Farthing Wood, and it's warped my perception of what was good in a car. Enormous boot space, so that when your South London voiced gangster fox friend has a suspiciously bulky looking roll of carpet that he would like dealt with, you could just go, oh, it's fine, I'll pop it in the boot of my Orion, because my Orion has a massive boot. This is perfect for dealing with that sort of thing. Yes, so no, the reason I ended up with Ford Orion was I just young enough that the insurance for young drivers has gotten really rather insane because young drivers keep crashing into things and causing expensive insurance payouts. And then yes, I basically went down a list of cars and just went through. This is the very first days of online insurance. I think it's Elephant was about the only one who existed. But I went to Elephant's website with a huge variety of kind of names and similar addresses and whatever else to stop them going. You're trying to insure 95 cars. Stop that. And they just went through a list of cars, and the Ford Orion was weirdly cheap to insure. And so it's like, why? Why is that the case? And turned out that basically, because the insurance on cars for young drivers is expensive because young drivers keep crashing the things, that no young driver had ever driven a Ford Orion. So they just had no data. So they just assumed, young drivers just don't crash these just because they don't drive them. Admittedly, I didn't crash mine. Banged it into a curb once, but don't think the handling was good enough that that made any real difference. But yes, not an amazingly good car. It was great at the time. I knew no better. I had no experience of like what a good car was like, or that maybe if you load slightly too many things in the boot, the car ceases to be able to go round roundabouts more than 10 miles an hour, or that an off-camber corner shouldn't result in it trying to kill you. That was fine. I didn't know any better. And so to me it was good. It had a 1.6 litre engine, which was very, very exciting. Anyway, diversion over. I have enough money to buy him more food trains. But this is heading to Cuzco, so this is good. Now have we now have food coming in. So the next step is to get some other growth. So how will we get growth with this? Well, the trick really to growth is buses. Because they say the trick to growth is buses. The actual trick to growth is have lots of stations transferring cargo. So in reality, the trick is not buses, it's having lots of stations transferring cargo. But what we're going to do is have 4. Now, 4 is not optimal. It should actually be 5, but there's not enough space for 5. So let's start that. So I'm going to get some Cuzco. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it in this order. And because I'm going to unload, I'm going to do this transfer. Because that will give the passenger train more passengers to train with. And then I'm just going to have a few of those. Now, well, since a few road vehicles are expensive, aren't they? Yes. So this is going to be... Let's see how much I can bring out of that reference. Okay, so we are most of the way there. Most of the way there. In terms of making Cuzco grow, except for doing some fast forwarding, really. Food's not being delivered. And now, what I could do here is... Oh, no, that's kind of being used. 26% here. Not much of it, though, are they? They're not really making use of that, though. Should I? Yes, let's be evil. Let us be evil. So, I'm going to just not build that there. I'm going to build that slightly back. And then, yes, this is not ideal, is it? That's a bit expensive, but never mind. There we go. So that's that. Let's put our exit signals in here. Let's put our depot in here, and let's put our entry signal in there, and then block signal there. Another block signal. No. And there we go. Block signal there. And Oh, there we go. So that's not ideal. Okay. No worries. There we go. Here we go. Oh, Cora Airport. Was that there a moment ago? Who knows? Right, so let's get some more fruit going to this food factory. So should I be worrying about profit? Because I seem to be sort of gently increasing my loan. And this seems to not be happening for me. No, profits are up. This is a thing of MegaRail. They used to say it's a great scenario because you used to have loads of money, but you also quite quickly outpaced it when you got ambitious like this. Anyway, let's go stealing fruit from the AI. Fruit. Ooh. There we go. That can go there. That can go there. So, oh yes, signal this properly. Yes, so I've got signals there. Reasonable distance. Not amazingly good, but it will do. We'll put some depots in, just make sure the trains can service. Not enough cash, so we may actually blow out the loan before we get to a point of satisfaction with this. So 50 grand. And they're breaking down all over the place as well. No. All going wrong. Not even really built anything, and it's still all going wrong. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. The fruit specifically, yeah, we can leave it in that group. That's fine. A little bit more. Can I clone that? Yes. So 2 of those. And that will do. And let's see if we can actually making Cuzco grow now. We actually find the thing. So food's not being delivered yet. Maybe some water's not being delivered. Ooh. That is interesting. Oh, that is quite interesting because this is food required. Oh. So here is a problem. This is too far out. I should have paid attention to that. So let's do some distant joining. Walk that station in. So now we should see food being delivered. We should see this starting to grow when the food train comes. Yay! It made some money and immediately demolished itself there. Ooh. Cuzco's a city apparently now. Oh, there we go. So the water and food delivery is a little bit unreliable. It's not growing yet. So it grows every 53 days. So we grew it a little bit. The water delivery is definitely a problem. So where else could we get water from? I guess someone's stolen my water supply. Ooh. I do have quite a bit of money. How much does a water supply cost? Like a prospect one. But it would also cost me $1 million. So maybe not. So I think see if we can find another water supply for Cuzco. So it's not really one that's not being used, is there? Oh no, I don't know. That's one. I just tap that. And just get some trucks onto there. It won't give me much, but it will at least give me some extra water just coming into Cuzco. Just sort of keeping things going, as it were. There we go. Let's bring that in there. And yes, I can go to Cuzco Bank. So. Yes. So that's that there. And then a couple of depots there. And then the water tanker. Ah, oh, there we go. So full load that. Let's have a few of those. Okay. So those won't do an amazing amount. They probably won't be that profitable because they're waiting on. Let's say, come on, Cuzco. Let's see if you could. It's just so reluctant to grow. I think it is sort of growing now. It's just it takes so long for this to happen and food to be delivered at the same time. So now, out of interest, are these? What are we doing with the food? So the food is kind of 150 tons, 52% transported. That's probably another one of those trains. And I think part of the problem is that these are actually too long. They got over ambitious of how much fruit I'd be able to shift. Yes, there's lots of things where there's fruit down here as well. Ooh. What are you transporting there? Diamonds, interesting. Okay, it's sort of growing. It's sort of shrinking. And it's sort of growing again. So there we go. So now it's kind of on a... So food. Food is the problem. No, I don't care about them. So I think... Well, let's see. Let's go back. Let's see if there's anything else we can do. So are there any other fruit plantations that are not being served? There's only those, and there's 2 farms. Like, they're kind of already using the farm. Santiago East is already using the farm. That's a lot of maize. Oh, there's Mega Freight. So Mega Freight are kind of... Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. So they're not sure there's really much we can do here. Other than... Because I actually think it's a frequency problem, so... Let's just send these to the depot list. So I think the problem really is frequency of delivery. And the way we can improve the frequency of delivery really is just smaller trains. Maybe we've discovered why this scenario had all these small trains. Almost as if there was a reason for it. As if the people who playtested this could actually play it. They knew what they were doing. That seems exciting. Okay, so because the food, the frequency of it, and the consistency of it matters a lot more than the amount. And nobody wants to be dumped sort of a big, huge drum of protein powder or something like that. And we're actually better off delivering smaller amounts more frequently. And it's still not quite perfect here. But there we go. Cuzco is growing. Challenge success. And I shall see you in a future episode, hopefully for more. And those buses could do with an extra depot, couldn't they? Well, they're not servicing effectively, so let's make sure they do actually have somewhere to service. Invite it. Oh yes, they're servicing now. And yes, I shall see you for a future MegaRail challenge. But until now, Cuzco has grown.